Hello everyone. Today I'm looking at Limbo. This was one of those first indie games that came out on the Xbox Live Arcade that really made a big impact. And it was a very simple, very intense, atmospheric game that was a side-scrolling kind of puzzle adventure game. There's really no combat, and it's more kind of horror-themed more than anything. And you play this little shadow of a boy, and you basically go from, left to right through a bunch of stages, solving puzzles and basically doing other kinds of things, such as platforming and moving, boxes around and stuff like that. And one of the main reoccurring antagonists is this giant spider. What's also very impressive about this game is there's almost no dialogue, and all the story is done all visually. And what I do have to kind of think is pretty creative is that the ending of the game kind of loops into the beginning in a very interesting and creative way. And again, it's a very simple game. You just move the control stick and can jump and push things. But it's really interesting how it, makes that last for as long as it does. And it doesn't really overstay its welcome. It's more like a 6-hour game, more or less. Again, the kind of environments are you go from fields and trees and marshes, and then as the game progresses, it gets increasingly more industrial and industrialized. And the final area of the game is this giant kind of factory, essentially. And so, yeah, pretty much everything in this environment kills you. It's like you're very kind of tiny and shrunk down, and the world is this giant big place. And when this game came out, it was, very influential because, visually something like this hadn't been done before. This kind of, visual storytelling, and it was just very new and very interesting altogether. Of course, the other thing that Limbo has going for it, at least artistically, is that the entire game is in black and white. There's actually very few if not any accent colors, and I find that to be pretty interesting, actually. And yeah, it's all one of those, this is a metaphor for depression kind of games. Again, the soundtrack, or lack of a soundtrack, really adds to the ambience of the game. And the implication of the story is also pretty interesting. That being said, it's one of these dark, morose kind of, how sad, how depressing kind of games. And it also delivers a fun kind of interactive story type experience with a couple, somewhat challenging puzzles. And I think there are some crazy achievements, like you have to play the entire game without dying once, which is pretty difficult. But yeah, I played through this once, kind of enjoyed it, and was like, oh yeah, cool, that's, a very distinct kind of thing. And kind of moved on. So yeah, it's one of these small indie art games that is actually not just a walking simulator, but it actually has some decent gameplay and puzzles in it. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. Alright guys, see ya.